How focused we are determines the kind of decisions we make and how effectively we make them. If you're feeling scattered, ungrounded, or you can't think effectively, then know that this class is for you. It's going to bring direction, focus, and clarity and get you feeling like yourself again. That's why today's class is called Yoga to Bring Back Mental Focus. If you're already subscribed to this channel, thank you for your support. If you're new, hi, my name's Tom, and you're very welcome to be here. Please would you press that subscribe button and press the like button to let me know that people like you support this kind of content on YouTube. Thank you. Let's get to it. The first thing I'd like you to do is come to a comfortable seat. It always helps if you've got some bricks or blocks or cushions or some kind of prop to elevate your hips when you're coming into a sitting position. That's what we're going to start with today. So bring yourself to a comfortable seat. Place your hands onto your thighs or in your lap or at your heart center. And we're going to start by doing some Nadi Shodhana breath. Nadi Shodhana is a form of yogic pranayama, which is just a style of yogic breathing. And this breath helps bring about a sense of calmness and groundedness in how we're feeling. If you've done this before, then you can prep yourself for it. But if you're new to the practice, what I'd like you to do is to get your second and third finger, so your index finger and your middle finger of your right hand, and place them at the center of your forehead. I'd like you to take your fourth and your fifth finger and place them onto the left side of your nose, just tapping gently against your left nostril. And then bring your thumb onto the right nostril. As we breathe in Nadi Shodhana, we're opening one nostril, inhaling up into our bodies. Then we're blocking off that same nostril and exhaling out the other side. Then we hold for a fraction of a moment. We inhale through that right side. We hold, exhale out through the left. And we just repeat that motion. You can take your left hand onto your left knee or your left thigh. And if you're under or are influenced by any kind of breathing problems in your life right now, then just be mindful that this practice might not be for you, and you might just want to imagine or visualize the breath flowing from one side of your nostrils to another. Otherwise, for the rest of us, place your fingers at the center of your forehead, your fourth and your fifth finger on your left nostril, your thumb on your right nostril, and then open that left nostril up and breathe in. At the top of your inhale, close the left nostril, hold for 1 second, open your right nostril and exhale out. Block off your right nostril, hold for a second, then inhale right. Block off your right nostril, hold for a second, exhale left. Block off your left nostril. We're going to repeat that just a couple of times, and that'll bring about that grounded and calm effect into our body. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. Hold. Inhale right. Hold. Exhale left. Hold. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. Hold. Inhale right. Hold. Exhale left. Hold. 2 more rounds. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. hold. Inhale right, hold, exhale left, hold. Last round. Inhale left, hold, exhale right, hold. Inhale right, hold, exhale left. Hold. And then slowly release your right arm down onto your lap or your thigh. Start to find a flow, a natural rhythm to your inhales and to your exhales. Breathing through the nostrils. Can you feel a sense of groundedness and calmness in your body right now? For these next 2 breaths, focus on the sound of your inhale and focus on the sound of your exhale and notice the difference between the two. Then bring your attention to the ring around your nostrils, just where the air passes in and out. Notice the shift in temperature between the inhale and the exhale. Which one is warmer and which one is cooler? Keeping your awareness tuned inwards, follow the breath as it travels through your nostrils into the back of your throat, into your lungs, and then down into your belly. Does the air stay cool the whole time? And then exhale to soften your belly, your chest, to feel air flow out of the throat and then out of the nostrils. Take one more round of breath like that. And then the final practice of tuning our awareness inwards is I'd like you to inhale in a little bit deeper and notice the change in your belly and in your chest as you do this. Notice what happens to your body, how it changes shape as you inhale and exhale. Take one more final round of breath here. And then see if you can tune your awareness back to the sound of your breath, the sound of your inhales and your exhales. Just for one round of breath here. And then keeping your awareness tuned into the sound of your breath, start to circle your shoulders and see if you can stay connected as you breathe and as your body starts to move. Change the direction that your shoulders are rotating. And from here, bring your attention to your nose and start to draw a small circle with your nose. As you breathe, keep the rhythm of your breath nice and even. And bring your attention to your neck, to notice how it feels when you make this circle a little bit bigger with each rotation. And then change the direction of your circle. And notice if you feel a difference in how your neck feels as you move it in this rotation. After your exhale, come back to center. And when you're ready, you can sweep your arms up, expand into your belly and your lungs on the inhale. And as you exhale, keep the height in your body and just drop your arms down nice and slow. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath like that. So really reach up and breathe it in. And exhale to drop your arms down. 1 more. Sweep your arms out in front of you. And as you exhale, interlace your fingers and press your palms up to the ceiling. Inhale, keep your hands connected, draw your elbows wide, and lift your chest up a little bit. Exhale to press your palms away. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath like that. Breathing in, opening up. And exhale, pressing away. Good. Now, before we come into our sequences, we've got 2 more little twists and turns we're going to do here. Take your right hand onto your right knee, your left hand onto your left knee. As you breathe in, press your belly and your chest forward. And as you breathe out, drop your back behind you. Let your shoulders relax and tuck your chin down. Take 3 more rounds of breath like that, opening up as you breathe in, feeling the curvature of your spine and noticing how the curvature changes and seeing if you can open up in the opposite direction just as easily, or is there a challenge? Gently waking your body up. Noticing how it creaks and groans, or how flexible it is. Then inhale back to center and sweep your arms up once again. From here, I'd like you to drop your left hand down and extend your right arm over to your left side. If it feels all right for your neck, look up towards your right bicep, otherwise look down at the ground. Take a big breath into the right side of your body. Imagine that you're expanding in the space between your ribs, and exhale to reach over to the left a little bit further. Can you find the stretch all the way from the fingertips to that hip? And can you relax that space and that stretch as you exhale? Take 1 more round of breath here. And after the exhale, press into your left hand, lift yourself up, and exhale over to the other side. If it's all right for your neck, look up to that left bicep. And take your 3 rounds of breath here. If you struggle to look up towards the ceiling in this pose or any other, try the technique of drawing your chin in towards your neck. And notice as you do this, the back of your neck, your spine, extends and lengthens. From this position, you can look and twist your head, but you've got to keep your chin tucked to do that. And if you feel a cramping between the neck and the shoulder, I'd like you to take that left arm and just point it right up. You should feel a little bit of engagement here because these muscles need to work to keep your neck upright, but you shouldn't feel a pinching or a pain. Wherever you're at, take 1 more round of breath. Find the stretch in the left side of the body. And then sweep both arms up after your exhale. Exhale them down through to your heart center. And as you do so, relax your shoulders and your neck. Good. Once you've done that, if you have a brick or a cushion or something underneath you, move it out of the way. And from here, take your hands onto your knees. We're just going to draw a couple of circles with our torso to stretch into our back and into our hips. And see if you can close your eyes and bring your attention again to the temperature of the breath around the nostrils. Continuously focusing our minds and our awareness inwards starts to build that practice and the ability to tune out of what's happening in the physical world of your body and to bring it inwards and to notice what's going on with our senses. And it's when we practice tuning in and choosing what we turn our awareness to that we start to build it into our daily lives. And when, for example, our body is under another form of stress, change sides, change the rotation, and we have practiced tuning inwards and blocking out those stresses in a yoga practice, that we begin to be able to notice the wonderful effects of yoga, or one of the effects of yoga. Take one more round of breath here and just notice the change of temperature around the rings of the nostrils from the inhale to the exhale. And once you've done your next rotation, come back to a neutral position. We're going to do a gentle forward fold, but what I'd like you to do is come into a fire log pose. So instead of having your heels drawn as close to the hips as possible, I'd like you to bring them underneath your knees and then sit yourself up nice and tall. Breathe into your belly and into your chest. And as you exhale, think of keeping your body in one nice straight line and just tilting your torso forward instead of curling down. You should start to feel a stretch in the outsides of your legs. Bring your hands out in front of you. Take a breath into your belly and into your chest. And then to lengthen your spine up and away, draw your chin inwards and reach out through the top of your head. Hold here for 3 breaths and try to relax the tops of your shoulders. Keep extending away, last round of breath. After that last exhale, walk your hands as far forward as you can, bring them together, and then using your core and your back muscles, reach your arms forward and up as you breathe in. Exhale your hands through to your heart center. Change the cross of your legs. And from here, same thing. We're going to take our hands onto our knees, tilt from the torso, and bring ourselves forward. And the stretch will feel slightly different, but it's important that we treat each side equally so that we can notice if one side is tighter or looser, and we can adjust accordingly. So come maybe a little further forward or a little further back, depending on what your body's feeling. Close your eyes, and for this little focus or awareness practice, I'd like you to notice the space underneath your hands as you grip into your mat, and gently press down into your feet and into your sit bones. As you breathe, inhale in nice and deep to extend out through the top of the head and to relax those shoulders. And as you exhale, can you sink into your hands, your feet, and your hips a little bit deeper? Breathing in to extend, to reach out through the top of the head, keep that chin drawn in. Breathing out to sink into the floor with the hands, the feet, and the hips. Take one more round of breath here. After the exhale, walk your hands as far forward as you can. Sweep them up as you breathe in. And exhale your hands through to your heart center. Good. Take your legs out in front of you. and just give them a bit of a bounce to neutralize tightness in the hamstrings a little bit. Then take your hands beside you, fingertips pointing forward, and on an inhale, draw your toes back towards you. We're just doing staff pose, dandasana, stretching, or what they call flossing the nerves. So draw those toes back, and as you exhale, point your toes and stretch the fronts of your feet. Inhale, draw those toes back, and exhale, point the toes. One more round like that, breathing in and breathing out. Good. Cross your feet over, bring yourself forward onto your hands and your knees. And from here, step yourself back into a plank. And if you'd like to, you can bend your knees left to right to stretch into your hamstrings and into your feet. Otherwise, press your back up to the ceiling. We're going to hold here for 5 breaths. It takes strength to be focused and determined and, well, really just to be strong. And so we're going to practice finding strength in this pose and breathing through the stress that it puts onto our body. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, engage the muscles of your thighs and those of your glutes. 4 more rounds of breath here. Just keep breathing. You can draw your chin inwards and extend out through the top of your head. Try to keep the tops of those shoulders soft. And then take your final big breath in. And as you exhale, drop your knees to the floor and slowly lower yourself down onto your belly and onto your torso. You might need to slide yourself back like I did. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, press your feet into the floor, and engage the muscles of your glutes. When you're ready, inhale to lift yourself up, and we're coming into a little cobra to begin with. Keep the tops of your shoulders soft, extend out through the top of your head, and as you exhale, lower yourself down, just tap your forehead onto the floor. Inhale to roll yourself up. This time, squeeze your shoulders together as you get to the top of the pose. And exhale to roll yourself down. Tap your forehead on the floor. Last round. Slow exhale. Good. Tuck your toes under. Power up into a plank or a tabletop. And let's exhale back to a downward facing dog. Bend those knees as you send those hips back. On your inhale, lift your hips and your heels up off the ground. And as you exhale, ground your heels down, send your hips back. Press into those hands. 2 more rounds. Breathing in, lifting up. Breathing out, grounding the heels, sending the hips back. Stretching to the lower back. Last one, breathe it in. And this time as you exhale, I'd like you to do a lion's breath. Lion's breath is another pranayama. I want you to stick your tongue out and sigh out of your mouth. Let's do 2 more like that. Breathing in, lifting your hips and your heels up. And as you exhale, stick your tongue out and sigh out of your mouth. 1 more round like that. Breathing in. This is a yoga pranayama to bring clarity. Good. After that final lion's breath, hold this pose and focus on the space underneath your hands and your feet. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, ground down and sink down into those hands and into those feet. Take 1 more round of breath like that. Exhale to sink down. Nice. Inhale, lift your left leg up, press the heel back behind you. And as you exhale, step the foot forward to the top of your mat. Drop your right knee to the ground, and from here, come up onto your fingertips. As you inhale, I'd like you to send your hips back. And as you exhale, send your hips forward and sink them down. Now, if you've got some bricks or some bolsters or cushions, bring them either side of your left foot and place your hands onto those bricks. If you don't have bricks, then that's okay. You can just come on up onto your fingertips like so, but maybe you won't go as deep in the pose as you might be able to if you had bricks, but it's still very accessible. Take a big breath in and press down into your hands or your fingers and into both your left foot and your right foot. Reach your chest forward and gently tilt your chin upwards. As you exhale, press down into that left foot and into your hands and gently straighten your leg just a little bit. We haven't warmed up the hamstring. My hamstring's feeling particularly tight. So don't feel like you need to have a straight leg in this pose. You're just folding over and feeling a little bit of strength as you attempt to straighten that leg. As you inhale, drop your right knee to the floor, open your chest up and lift your chin up. And as you exhale, once again, just attempt to straighten that left leg, press into your hands. Good, let's take 2 more rounds like that, breathing in, lifting up. And breathing out, pressing away. And 1 more. Good, and then bring yourself back to a neutral position. And from here, if you've got those bricks, you can move them away. Plant your right hand down onto the inside of your left foot and just come up onto your left fingertips. Straighten that right leg up off the ground. Take your left hand onto your left knee and breathe into your belly and your chest. And as you exhale, press down into that left knee, twist to your left side, and try to keep your right thigh, the back thigh, engaged. If you'd like, you can lift your left arm up and turn your palm to face the front of the mat. And once again, draw your chin in towards your neck and look up to the ceiling. Take 2 rounds of breath here. And then after the exhale, bring your left hand down onto the ground, step your left foot back and come into a side plank pose with a little bit of support. So both feet are in one nice long line. Lift your left arm up. And as you exhale, press down into your right hand. Make sure it's directly underneath that right shoulder. 2 more rounds of breath here. If you want to have a go, look up. It's a little harder in this pose, so you could take your left hand onto the back of your head and just twist it to look up like so. 1 more full round of breath. And then from here, sweep your left arm up, take your left foot and step it to the halfway point in your mat. And as you exhale, gently lower your hips down onto the ground on that right side. From here, you could take your left hand onto your left knee, or you can extend it palm facing up over that right leg. If you can't feel anything in the side of your body where you should be feeling it, walk your right hand a little bit closer to your right hip. Take 3 rounds of breath here. And really try to extend out through that right leg. Good. Now we're going to lift that left arm up and bring it down onto the floor. We've never done this yoga pose in my class before, but it's a really nice stretch for the neck, so we're going to attempt it. Staying on our side, we're going to extend our left leg out and bring ourselves all the way down onto the ground on the right side of your body. I'd like you to take your right hand and cup it underneath your neck and look up like so. Then you've got the option to take your left foot behind your right knee or in front of it. kind of throws your balance as you do that. And classically what we'd do is lift that right leg up by interlacing the fingers around, around the left foot and extend it up. But if you don't want to do that, you can just place a foot in front of the right knee. And it's really hard to balance. I find if you're struggling to balance, you can bend that back leg. So it's this really strange looking, but actually it's quite comfortable to come up into this pose. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. And then slowly release your left foot down. Roll yourself down onto your belly and onto your chest. And inhale up into your Cobra. Notice if your left side feels a little bit different after having done that peculiar stretch. As you exhale, roll yourself down, tap your forehead onto the floor, and power up into your plank or your tabletop. As you exhale, come back to your downward facing dog. And once again, inhale, lift your hips and your heels up off the floor. Exhale to ground them down. Take 2 more rounds of breath like that. One more. And on your next round of breath, we're going to exhale out of the mouth and do that lion's breath. So sighing out of the mouth, sticking your tongue out. Inhale to lift up. And exhale to sigh. 2 more. Last one. Hold here. As you exhale, focus on sinking into the hands and the feet. And keep that awareness and that focus for 1 more round of breath. And inhale, sweep your right leg up, breathing in. And exhale to step it forward to the top of your mat. Good. Come down onto your hands and either take those bricks underneath your hands or come up onto your fingers. I'll do it on my fingers this side so you can see me. As you inhale, or so you can see the difference. As you inhale, lift your chest up, let your chin rise. And as you exhale, tuck your toes under and straighten your right leg as best as you can, as well as that left leg, and fold yourself over. Let's do 4 more breaths like that. Inhaling to lift up. And exhaling to fold down. Notice the space underneath your feet as you shift forward and backwards. And take 1 more round of breath in and out. Nice. And bring yourself back to that neutral position. Drop your left knee to the floor. Plant your left hand down onto the inside of that right foot. Take your right hand onto your right knee. Tuck your toes under. Lift the back leg up off the floor and engage the thigh before you inhale and then exhale to twist to your right side. If you feel like it, you can lift your right arm up. And as you exhale, try to look up towards that right hand. Remember how we practiced cupping the back of the head to look up? You could use that technique here if you want. Twisting to look up towards the ceiling, driving that right elbow up to the ceiling. Take 2 more rounds of breath. And then inhale, sweep your left arm up As you exhale, bring it down onto the floor. Make sure that your right shoulder is above your right wrist. And when you're ready, step back into a side plank pose. Lift your left arm up. Take 3 rounds of breath. You got this. 1 more. After the exhale, bring the right hand onto the floor. Step your right foot to the halfway point in your mat and drop your hips down. Notice is this side tighter? I definitely feel it more in my left side. But how about you? Extend your right arm out over your left leg and turn your right palm to face up. And just breathe. Just take a full breath in. And once again, notice the shape of your inhale. And try to deepen it a little bit and notice if that changes how it feels. Notice if it changes the stretch. I find that if I inhale in a little deeper, I feel the stretch a little bit more. After your third exhale, take your right hand onto the floor and slowly lower yourself down onto your mat. Keep your left leg extended. Take your left hand underneath the back of your neck. And you're kind of using your thumb to press into your trapezius muscles, which is the tops of your shoulders. As you turn your head up. And just relax your head into your hands and that arm. And then extend that left leg out and keep the left foot quite active. And that's what will help you balance here. If you want, you can take the right foot onto the front or the back of that left knee. Or you can draw the right knee in towards the right shoulder and then gently extend your right leg up. And the challenge is to press that right foot up, stay balanced at the same time, and breathe. Let's take 3 breaths in whatever variation you like. Oh. And you might fall and you might stumble. That's kind of the fun of it. Keep relaxing in the neck and in the shoulders. Good. After your third exhale, gently release yourself back down onto your belly and onto your chest. Inhale for one last cobra here. Breathe it in, lift up. And as you exhale, roll yourself down. Just tap your forehead onto the ground. From here, we're just going to roll over onto our backs. And we're going to close the class with 10 deep breaths in and out. If you'd like, you can extend your legs or have your feet flat on the floor with your knees bent. Take one hand onto your chest, one hand onto your belly. And let's start with 3 cleansing breaths. So breathe in through your belly and breathe up into your chest. And let's start with 3 cleansing breaths. Breathe into your belly, breathe up into your chest. And exhale out of your mouth with a sigh. 2 more rounds of breath like that. For these next 7 rounds of breath, breathe in through the nostrils. And gently exhale out through the nostrils too, and feel yourself sinking into your mat. Focus on the sound of your breath. Focus on the temperature around the rings of your nostrils and how it changes from the inhale to the exhale. On your next round of breath, follow the air in down to your belly and into your chest. And all the way out again. And for these next 2 rounds of breath, just deepen the inhale and lengthen the exhale. If you're feeling grounded and calm here, you might like to stay a little bit longer. Otherwise, you can stretch in opposite directions. Just bring yourself over to your left side. Take a round of breath in and out here and just check in with how you're feeling and how your physical body's doing. Then gently bring yourself up to a comfortable seat at the top of your mat. Place your hands onto your thighs. And let's take 3 rounds here to close the class. You might like to focus on that flow of the breath or the sound or the temperature around the nostrils. Just pick one and allow that to be the space where you focus and where you turn your attention and your awareness. Thank you for joining me for this practice. I hope that you're feeling a little bit more grounded, a little bit calmer, and that this class has brought you more focus and clarity. Just remember that we all lose our focus and our ability to think clearly sometimes, and that's okay. And you've got practices like yoga to help bring you back on track. Have a wonderful day. Namaste. Hi. If you enjoyed that video, then you might enjoy this video. You can click on it right now to take yourself there or to save it for later.